Hello. Alrighty, so in today's video we're going to be discussing the top 5 easiest brawlers to grind rank 30. So I haven't made a video on this in a while, so might as well update the tier list. There are actually a few new brawlers that have slowly climbed themselves up the meta. So let's discuss the top 5 easiest brawlers. We're actually going to be mainly talking about solo showdown. It mainly applies to this, and the reason is because anybody can play solos. It's like you need a team for it, so literally anybody on the planet can play solo showdown. So yeah, let's get to it. Alrighty, so every single brawler that gets released, normally 1 in 3 are actually good in solos. So lately that has actually not applied. The last few brawlers that have been released are really good, and the reason is not only because they're good, but they also cancel out other really good brawlers that were originally really meta in solos, so then that'll help them climb up the meta as well. But there are still a few brawlers that are really good nonetheless. If you have not grinded them rank 30, I highly suggest you grind them. Starting off with Shelly. Shelly is still really good in the meta right now. It's not as easy to grind as she used to be. She used to be just literally a breeze to grind, and now she's a little bit more difficult. You'll have a little bit more of a challenge, but she's still pretty easy to grind nonetheless. Just not insanely easy where there's no challenge at all. But the main thing that you'll just be watching out for is watch out for Fangs and Eves. That's a big problem. Also Surges. Try to target Primos and other tanks, and you'll be laughing with Shelly and you'll have it in no time. Another bonus tip with Shelly is that almost nobody will trust you to team with you, so then use that as your advantage. So then instead of just trying to team with people, because a lot of time they'll backstab Shellys because they're scared that they'll get backstabbed themselves, you can use that to your advantage and play within that knowledge that you have. Alrighty, next on the list is a really common brawler. If you don't have this brawler rank 30, you should probably grind them as soon as possible, because I feel like they're going to be leaving the meta soon, and that is Primo. Primo used to be the easiest. Shelly used to be the second easiest, but they've been overthrown by some other brawls that we'll get later in this video, so be sure to stick around for that. But Primo, just a few bonus tips. His second star power is a no-go, and his second gadget is a no-go. Go for both of the first ones, so go for the first gadget and the first star power. First gadget is really good to protect yourself from one Shelly, 2 people that are just close to you that you don't want them to be. Just want to give yourself some distance. Also, the star power allows you to do some damage and then back off and be safe when the opponents also die, because the Elf Wuger allows you to kill them without having to be there, if you understand what I'm talking about. However, the speed just gives you less value, and the meteors gives you less value because it's just Primo is not a control brawler, so the meteor is a very control gadget, so it just doesn't pair well with Primo because that's not his role at all. Next on the list is Surge. So Surge is number 3, and the reason is because he counters the 2 brawlers that I just talked about, but it's harder for him to counter the next 2 brawlers, but he's really good nonetheless. So Surge's first gadget is the only gadget because there's no second gadget, so obviously you're going to be going with that gadget. And if you don't have this gadget, do not grind Surge. Wait for you to get that gadget and then grind Surge, and you're going to go the first star power, because the second star power is completely useless in solos, because when you die you lose, so you just get no value out of the second star power. A few tips with Surge: target tanks, team wisely. There are some brawls that you should just team with all the time, and let's just say Primo. A lot of time Primo you'll try to team with anyone you can, but there's some brawls like Shelly and Surge where you'll have to strategically team with some players and team against other players so that you can get maximum value. So try to team with Fangs, try to team with Eves, or brawls that can take out tanks and then team against tanks. So you take out all the tanks and then you can start going for some other brawlers. To use his teleport wisely, try not to get kills with the teleport. You can if you want to, but a lot of the time the teleport should be used to run away and survive rather than get kills. Surge doesn't need to get kills, he needs to get his high stages. Once he gets his high stages, nobody's going to be messing with Surge. When was the last time you saw a stage 4 Surge and then you just thought, perfect enemy right there? Exactly. It never happens. So try to get your stage 4 instead of killing people. But I would recommend, if you are going to try and get some kills with the TP, I would suggest that you do it early on when he has his first or second stage, because once he has his third stage, his TP, you get less value out of it because you need it less rather than before, because you have less to offer. If you're stage 1, you're super slow, you don't have much range. If you're stage 3 to 4, you have every single feature and every single like thing that you really need for Surge to really live up to his name. Alrighty, and number 2 is Fang. Fang is incredibly new in the game, and it's really tricky to use Fang correctly because there are so many different ways to use him, and which one really is the most correct one? Well, it's quite tricky to answer that, so we are not going to, but I will just give a few quick tips for Fang. If you're an incredibly aggressive player, I would suggest you go the first gadget. The first gadget allows him to get some control, so it pairs well with playing aggressive, but I would highly recommend you do not use it. Honestly, if you have it, use it. If you have the other one, the second gadget is way better. The stun works so good for Fang, especially with the combo when you use the super, so you get around about 1800 damage in, and then you use an attack which you do 2000, so then you've already done almost 4k, and if you're level 11, I believe you'll do 4k damage. Then you do a stun, and then you do another attack. You just did 6k damage, and they have nothing they can do against that, unless they're like a Shelly where you shouldn't really dash onto them. But if you have a good opponent to dash onto, like let's just say Rosa or whatever, that has a lot of HP, or maybe a Pam, then you can just dish out so much damage. So super, attack, stun gadget, attack. Once you do the first super, once you hit the super, you'll pretty much pretty much be able to continue that formula, because once you finish it, you'll almost be onto your next super. This is what makes Fang incredibly overpowered. If you're going for star powers, definitely go for his second star power. His first star power is only good with different formulas. So how his first star power works is once you kill somebody, if you kill them, if the last hit that you do that kills them is your super, you'll get your super back. The issue about this is that like 90% of the formulas that you use with Fang, you don't end up finishing them with your special attack. You end up finishing them with an attack or the gadget. The thing is, the point of the super is to dash onto them. And number 1, we all saw this coming, is Eve. Eve is incredibly broken because 1, the super can help tank, 2, the super can give you control, 3, the gadget can help you jump over walls, 4, the gadget can give you some extra damage in if you ever need it, and 5, the main thing Eve is known for, dashing over walls. Well, not even dashing over walls, just walking over walls. It's incredibly broken. We all know how broken this brawler is, and the main thing that makes her broken is just how many things she has. Her super can tank, her super can do damage, her gadget can do damage. Also, another thing to know is that her just general attack is so incredibly strong. It's not like other brawls like Meg where you have a really good super but you sacrifice that by really weak HP and really weak damage. Eve just does not listen to that law at all. Just that rule, no, Eve just completely ignores that and is strong in every single aspect. Use Eve, grind her to rank 30, even rank 35 as soon as you humanly can before she gets nerfed, because if they give her a big enough nerf, then she's not going to be useful anymore. So yeah, alrighty, so that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Let me know if you have any of these brawlers rank 30 in already, and also let me know if you're going to grind these brawlers rank 30, which I highly recommend you do, because all of them are really good in the meta right now. Shelly and Primo you likely already have rank 30, but some other brawlers you may not have rank 30, and I highly recommend you do. Sorry, with that all said, take care and have a good one, and best of luck to your grinds.